They said it was over. They said he was finished. At 40, Cristiano Ronaldo was supposedly too old, too slow, and too irrelevant for Portugal's future. ESPN labeled him a liability, a shadow of his former self, a man clinging to faded glory. But in just 2 matches, Ronaldo didn't just silence those voices, he destroyed them. He reminded the entire world why his name will echo through the history of football forever. This is the story of how a 40-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo reignited the Ballon d'Or debate and proved the world wrong yet again. Now listen carefully to the story ESPN tried to push. To them, the Nations League wasn't about Ronaldo. No, it was about Yamal. It was about Dembele. If Yamal lifted the trophy, then the Ballon d'Or was his. If Dembele triumphed, then he deserved it. That was the script they wanted. A new star must rise and the legend must fade. Ronaldo, the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, the all-time top scorer in football, was written out of the story before the first whistle. But football punishes arrogance. The semi-final, Portugal against Germany. History weighed heavy. For 25 years, Portugal hadn't beaten Germany. An entire generation came and went without breaking that curse. And now, the responsibility fell on a 40-year-old many claimed no longer belonged. Critics mocked his pressing, his stamina, his impact. They said Gonzalo Ramos should start instead. Younger legs, more energy. But when the lights came on, it wasn't Ramos who stepped forward. It was Cristiano Ronaldo. The match was a war of nerves. Portugal pressed. Germany countered. The clock kept ticking. But Ronaldo waited, always waited. Then the moment. A cross, a movement, a flash of instinct you cannot teach, only learn through decades of battle. And the finish, clinical, ruthless, pure Ronaldo. At 40, he scored the goal that ended a 25-year curse. Portugal had finally beaten Germany. One man rewrote history. One man shattered the script. And yet ESPN brushed it aside. A fluke, they said. A goal that didn't matter. How do you dismiss a moment that changed history? That's when it became clear this wasn't analysis. This was an agenda. Then came the final. Media painted it as the clash of generations. 17-year-old Lamine Yamal, the prodigy of tomorrow, against Cristiano Ronaldo, the man of yesterday. They called it the passing of the torch. But football isn't a Hollywood film you can predetermine. Football belongs to those who seize the moment. The stadium roared. Spain's fans sang for Yamal. Portugal's clung to belief in their captain, maybe for the last time. The camera caught Ronaldo during the anthem. Eyes sharp, jaw firm. For him, this wasn't about doubters. It was about legacy. Spain struck first Zubimendi in the 21st minute. The new era rising. Minutes later, Nuno Mendes struck back. But then Oyarzabal restored Spain's lead. Spain controlled the game. Possession, rhythm, dominance. Whispers grew, Ronaldo is finished. And then 61st minute. A flash inside the box. A defender asleep. Ronaldo awake. The ball crossed in. One touch, one finish. Goal. Portugal level. His celebration wasn't wild. No sprint, no acrobatics. He simply stood there, arms outstretched, absorbing the moment. A statement to Spain, to the fans, and to every critic who buried him too early. At 40, he pulled Portugal back once again. Momentum shifted. Spain faltered. Portugal grew stronger. When the final whistle blew, the trophy was theirs. Ronaldo had done it again. But instead of praise, the knives came out. Too old, only 2 games. Got injured. That was the response. No admiration for back-to-back full matches in 3 days. No respect for delivering on the grandest stage at an age when most footballers are long gone. Just more disrespect. At that point, you realize this isn't about football. This is about erasure. They want Ronaldo gone. They want his chapter closed. But he refuses to leave. To understand why, you must look back at the moments that forged him. In 2017, the Champions League belonged to Ronaldo. 10 knockout goals. A hat-trick against Atletico. 5 across 2 legs against Bayern's mighty defense. 2 in the final against Juventus. He didn't just play football, he rewrote its laws. In 2016, he achieved the impossible. Champions League? The European Championship, Portugal's first ever. The Ballon d'Or. Over 60 goal contributions. The only man in history to hold all of that in one season. Not talent. Destiny. In 2014, he delivered La Decima. Before the season began, he promised Real Madrid their 10th Champions League. Against Barcelona, Bayern, Chelsea, such words sounded like madness. But madness became history. 17 goals, a record that still stands. In the World Cup playoffs, Zlatan stood in his way. Ronaldo answered with 4 goals in 2 legs. dragging Portugal through. That year, he wasn't a footballer. He was inevitable. And inevitability doesn't fade even at 40. So here we are, 2025. Yamal shines. Dembele dazzles. But when Portugal needed a savior, it wasn't the new faces who answered. It was Ronaldo. When the Ballon d'Or race seemed ready to forget him, he forced his way back in. Because how can you crown a teenager while the 40-year-old king still defends his throne? Cristiano Ronaldo has always been more than goals, more than trophies. He is defiance itself. The boy from Madeira who had nothing. The man the media tried to bury time and time again. Yet he rose, again and again. At 40, he is still writing chapters. Chapters that silence critics. Chapters that end debates. ESPN may try to erase him, but Ronaldo reminded the world of one simple truth. Legends never retire. They live forever.